Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Blobverse Devlog series. This is episode 15, where we cover the latest update, Shepherd's Paradise. So let's take a quick moment and talk about where we're at right now. First of all, I need to get something off my chest. This update consumed over 200 hours of development. And, you know, that's kind of insane, but at the same time, there is still so much left to add. I'm a little bad at predicting how much work is going to go into an update. There ends up being a lot of random bugs or a lot of other issues that I have to fix up, or someone comes up with a suggestion and I want to incorporate that too. It's really an ever-evolving process, and that kind of contributes to why this actually took more than a week to develop. So first things first, let's just talk about why I chose this update in particular. Blobs just don't have any meaningful relationships with animals. Besides hunting them, they really just ignore them. And while the blobs do go farming, they don't do anything with their crops. They're not processed or cooked in any way. I mean, wow, they're eating carrots and potatoes raw, and the meat is raw. I mean, someone's got to look out for their taste buds, I'm sorry. But while I'm at it, might as well fix wolves because they just die out on day 2. And don't get me started on nomads. I don't think I've ever witnessed nomads survive their first hunting expedition, because these smart little blobs, yeah, they just pick out that beefy buffalo and they just go straight whammo slammo, and that doesn't ever seem to go well for them. I wonder why. So we've got to improve their AI dramatically and get them some weapons fast. I think we have a pretty good progression going. From the workbench to the bone pickaxe, from hunting, they move on to farming, and from farming, now they're going to move to animal domestication. It's time for blobs to make some new friends. Here's how I want it to work though. Blobs are going to notice that they've got a lot of extra carrots lying around, and I think carrots are a pretty good treat for a hungry animal, so that's what they're going to choose. And if a blob sees, you know, some sheep, cows, and pigs, they will snatch that delicious carrot and sneak up to the animal. And once they're close enough, the animal gets surprised and runs away. But I don't want them to go too far because of that sweet carrot. Because once the blob has their attention, they've got him, and they can bring the animal back to their settlement. And I think domesticated animals shouldn't be afraid of blobs. They should instead be kind of a burden to them with all the extra responsibilities, like, you know, they have to feed the animals, they have to bring them water, they gotta milk the cows for milk, and they gotta shear the sheep for wool. All of that needs to work for animal domestication to make sense. But it doesn't stop there, because blobs also need a reliable source of food, and that, I think, is perfect for the bakery. Blobs are going to operate that bakery and produce bread and cheese and cooked meat, but I want to split up the bakery into a few different zones as well, because if everything was just in one pile, it would look really messy. So instead, blobs are going to throw materials into different areas. So the delivery area, and the blob inside the bakery is going to move it to the crafting area, and then from there, any output, any produce like bread and cheese, that's going to go into the output zone. From there, I want to move on to improving the nomads. And I have a few ideas. I think the chieftain should be able to craft bone daggers in the chieftain's teepee. This is going to give the nomads a little bit more strength, and you should start to see them die off a little bit less. What's more, the blob should prioritize animals based on the level of danger, which means that if there's a buffalo nearby and there's a sheep nearby, obviously the nomads should be choosing the sheep. So nomads can say hi to the bunnies and goodbye to the incredibly dangerous buffalo. And last but not least, I want to fix wolves. I want to give them a pack alpha. I want to increase their hunger limits, and I want to give them special behaviors like guarding some leftover meat before they gobble it up. If I can just give them some more coordination, I think that's going to be enough to push them into actually reliably surviving. All of this should be a huge improvement, so let's get down to work. You know what they say, the pain train is always on time. Do they say that? Anyway, did you know I spent 2/3 of this update getting the bakery to work? Out of 200 hours, the bakery took about a week, and during this time, I did also eradicate crashes, I think. I hope. I also redid the entire level reward system, so now it accepts a spreadsheet that I can easily update. But the important part is, I had to substantially improve the code for buildings. Buildings now have zones, and these zones are sort of like designated areas that have a special purpose. The bakery has the delivery zone, the crafting zone, the output zone, a resting area, and a lobby. The good news is that because I made these changes, I can easily add new buildings. I made the Chieftain's Teepee work in under an hour, and that includes all the blob crafting functionality. I mean, when the time comes to add the blacksmith, it'll be a total breeze. So if you ask me, the extra week was well worth it. And I also really improved the AI as well. For one, blobs were total chatterboxes, so I had to reduce how often they talk by a magnitude of 5, I think. I reorganized how they prioritize crafting and moving items to different stockpiles. And I fixed a couple game-breaking bugs. For example, blobs who had low health during a fight were supposed to run away. Unfortunately, I told them to run away from themselves. And obviously they have no idea how to do that. Even humans haven't figured out that one yet. Also, blobs who went hunting would sneak up to the animal, and when they were just close enough, they'd just walk away. Turns out they were never ordered to actually attack. Yeah, wolves, blobs, even herbivores like sheep and cows, they were all affected by this. I also made it so that only one blob at a time would go to water a specific plot of farmland, or tame a certain animal, or craft at the workbench. Every second matters, and it means blobs waste less time, and they spend that time on other things, more important things, like gathering resources, crafting, building structures, farming, hunting, and taming new pets. And speaking of pets, I didn't want them to be too demanding, so blobs have the option of crafting a hay bale using some wheat, and animals will eat the hay when they get hungry. And I should talk a little bit about wolves, so please keep an eye on them, guys. Their AI is very fresh, but it includes a lot of cool things like a chosen alpha wolf, which the other wolves will follow, and that wolf can give them commands, such as attacking all at once, which means that large wolf packs can best even a buffalo. This is pretty significant, and I hope your favorite village does not encounter one of these frightening wolf packs. Alright everyone, it's time to look at the results, so let's see what we cooked up this week. Here we've got the Noble Baker. Their work is never over. There's always cheese to make, meat to cook, and bread to bake. Watch how he takes the items into the crafting area, and then delicious goods just pop right out. Here we've got a blob who's got their hands on a juicy carrot. They've got their eyes on that animal, and nothing's gonna stop them. Watch that careful, sneaky approach. It's a precious little dance of building trust and forming a new bond. If the blobs can take care of them, they will remain in that village for a long time. Now this blob just got some milk, and I think some delicious cheese awaits. And this blob over here is shearing a sheep. I think that wool is going to be very useful. And let's check out our wise nomads. That's the chieftain in there. They're crafting a bone dagger and arming their tribe. This way, nothing will stop them, and they can even fend off a vicious wolf pack. And this is the wolf pack I was talking about. It looks like the alpha found a bunch of meat, and the pack is extremely protective over it. Once they're done with this stash, they're going to make a move and strike when the time is right. Danger is back, and it's not even the undead. And just look at that village bustling with activity. This is the kind of Blobverse that I want to see. There's so many different buildings and so many different things to do. The truth is, I think we're ready for a bit more complicated AI, and I've got just the thing in mind for the next devlog. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I read every single comment, so if you have tips or suggestions, you can leave one below. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next devlog. See ya.